Hello, I'm Dr. Amy Weldon from Luther College in Decorah, Iowa, and this is my paper, Our Malady, Teaching Ecology, Society, and the Body. I'm glad to contribute to ASLE's Disease and Health Humanities stream. Today, I'll be introducing a text I've just taught for the first time, Our Malady, Lessons in Liberty from a Hospital Diary by Timothy Snyder, published last year. I'd like to share with you how it develops classroom conversations around ecology, technology, the body, society, systems thinking, and medical humanities. And it draws a very positive response from students. Timothy Snyder is well known as an historian of totalitarianism, author or editor of 15 books, perceptive public intellectual, and a professor at Yale University. In December 2019, at age 50, he was hospitalized near death with an undiagnosed liver abscess. Jotting his observations, emotions, and even hallucinations in a journal literally stained with blood, he built from those notes a palm-sized paperback, Our Malady, Lessons in Liberty from a Hospital Diary. This small book has great power, using Snyder's own experiences to illuminate systemic failures in the American healthcare system and to diagnose their deeper causes with powerful words: solitude, solidarity, rage, and empathy. Quote, "Our malady is physical illness and the political evil that surrounds it," he writes. "We are ill in a way that costs us freedom and unfree in a way that costs us health. Our politics are too much about the curse of pain and too little about the blessings of liberty." End quote. As in his 2016 book, Art on Tyranny, Snyder distills a few cogent lessons. Number 1, healthcare is a human right. 2, renewal begins with children. 3, the truth will set us free. And 4, doctors should be in charge. Yet, typical of Snyder's work, his clarity is never reductive. In Lesson 1, quoted here on the slide, Snyder reflects how rushed doctors, profit-driven healthcare systems, and social conditions like loneliness and stoic masculinity, encouraged by his own Midwestern upbringing, can converge to create systemic malady. In Europe, he received personal counsel about his migraine medication and lifestyle changes that might reduce the need for it. In New Haven, Connecticut, he received an incorrect dosage that, quote, "felt like I had as a kid when I shocked myself on a wall socket, only this lasted longer, and forced a rushed electrocardiogram," end quote. I'll quote the next paragraph in full, and again this is reproduced here on the slide. "When there is no one with time to talk, no chance to find another approach, then we come to feel that we have to choose between pain and pills. In our country, where pharmaceutical advertisements are the main source of health information, we keep learning the lesson that suffering is our personal responsibility and that pills are the cure. When painkillers work, that creates a particular danger because then we can ignore the deeper sources of suffering. We then get in trouble when we increase the dose or find that medicine no longer works. Suffering and self-medicating are both lonely activities. They can feel like free choices, but they create an imbalance that leaves us in bondage." Snyder then links these causes of opioid addiction in particular with the first words in his journal, quote, "only rage, lonely rage," end quote, and his objects of academic study, the would-be tyrants and rageful division shaping our current global political landscape. Quote, "If all we have is lonely rage," he writes, "we fail, become addicted, listen to the wrong people, harm those we care about, and die," end quote. Broadly construed, this is, to borrow a phrase from ecological philosopher Timothy Morton, ecological thinking, and it spoke deeply to my students who came to my classroom this past spring, still masked, from a range of majors, global backgrounds, social and health histories, and pandemic experiences. Our course was Medicine and Literature, a 100-level English course designed for non-English majors and particularly appealing to those in our global health and pre-healthcare fields. Several are applying to medical school, and one student currently works as a CNA. In general, the course is meant to get students energized about reading and writing and to help them fulfill curricular credit. More specifically, I meant to inspire them toward new ways of seeing, thinking, and writing about the interconnections of body, mind, spirit, and society. In addition to Our Malady, we read poetry by Lucille Clifton and the ex-Dr. John Keats, Virginia Woolf's novel Mrs. Dalloway, Gavin Francis's memoir Adventures in Human Being, Octavia Butler's short story Bloodchild, Leslie Jameson's essay The Empathy Exams, Susan Sontag's essay Illness as Metaphor, an excerpt from neurosurgeon Henry Marsh's memoir Do No Harm, and Alice Munro's short story The Bear Came Over the Mountain. Students also had the option to visit our college's Human Anatomy Lab, where their fellow students introduced them to the wondrous realities of bones, heart, and brain. Even though I focused mostly on literary works, I wanted to help students think, in line with our college's mission, about the power of interdisciplinary thinking and intellectual curiosity and range for career and life. By the end of the semester, we had built a lively and cohesive community, tackling big questions of life, language, meaning, mortality, and building a healthier world in which human and non-human bodies can thrive. Although each text got some love in students' end-of-semester writings, two in particular seemed to draw their attention, Mrs. Dalloway and Our Malady, both of which, with conviction and craft, helped us see the interconnections of bodies and the places they live. For 20-year-olds rocked by the COVID pandemic, racial injustice, Minneapolis is 3 hours north of our campus. Uncertain economic futures and climate emergency, these are deep concerns. Students particularly agreed with Snyder and with my late father, a surgeon for more than 30 years, that doctors should be in charge of the healthcare system, and they're not. Many students have had experiences with healthcare in the COVID era, from COVID itself to gastric and mental health issues, to sports injuries, and many more. They all felt doctors needed more time to do their job, more time to spend and talk with patients, to help patients feel seen. They came out in near universal agreement with Snyder that healthcare is a human right. And as canaries in the coal mine of late capitalism, feeling most of its drawbacks and few of its benefits, they were not shy about expressing that view. They also linked it with another course theme, the internet, social media, and social media-driven disinformation, which Snyder touches on throughout his body of work and which I brought into the course via a guest lecture by my friend and colleague Brian Gimza at Texas Tech. Our bodies and minds and the environment are made sick by systems set up for profit at the expense of human bodies and selves. One student mused, and this is the response reproduced in the first bullet point, social media is a series of masks, and here we are, wearing COVID masks on our faces every day. No wonder it's so hard for us to see each other as people. Another student responded in the first paragraph of their final essay, the second bullet point here. I was particularly impressed by the way that the students' writing pulled together multiple themes of the course using Our Malady as one of the fulcrums of that. I'll read the students' words aloud. Through social media or through live connections, any form of interaction, positive or negative, supports the idea that people change people. The evolution of social media, from the creation of the internet to specific ads curated from your search history, has drastically changed the nature of human connection in both positive and negative ways. Communication through the internet over social media, texting, emailing, or other forms has a goal of curating emotions and reactions, which is not how humans connect in real life because we are influenced by experiences. Divisions in human relationships are created by issues such as unrealistic standards and disinformation. Connection is achieved through shared experiences, unified understanding, and accurate perception of what is meant to be interpreted. These issues have presented themselves to me in a variety of texts like Timothy Snyder's Our Malady, Gavin Francis's Adventures in Human Being, and Susan Sontag's essay Illness as Metaphor, because of my interpretation of them as well as our class discussions and analysis. I have come to understand that language is so central to human connections and divisions that now, more than ever, the language we use needs to be given greater attention to ensure the information we put out in the world is perceived accurately." End quote. The third bullet point is the thesis sentence of another essay written by a third student. Again, I was impressed by the way that the student drew together multiple course themes to express what was important to them. Quote, "If there is a connecting thread through each text covered in this course, it is the inherent need for human connection in order to make sense of life and ultimately to survive it." End quote. This is a point that Our Malady and many of the other texts in the course make in different, but I would say equally powerful ways. Students wrote about doctors who talked over them, who rushed through appointments in obedience to the clock, just like Snyder describes, doctors distracted by cell phones, struggling with tidal waves of humanity to manage in an era where the ER has become the first port of call for health care, including mental health care and homeless sheltering. And Snyder's own writing style, clear, direct, nuanced, blending academic analysis and personal experience, was a model to students of how good writing can change minds and change the world. I'm teaching my medicine and literature course again this coming fall, and I will be bringing Our Malady back to my syllabus. If you are looking for an engaging, thought-provoking text that is sure to be well received by a range of students and help them see ecological and systemic thinking in new ways, I urge you to do the same. Thank you.